That was an experience. So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here, and welcome to what is going to be a different type of video. This is pretty much going to be all you're seeing for the remainder of it. Just this boxy room. A couple of images might come on screen, but there is a reason why I'm doing this video, and I'm very excited to share some things. First of all, I'm going to explain this is not food. This is like some kind of sore that's popped up on my lip. I don't know what else I can do. I'm just getting that out of the way before someone says, hey, bro, you got chocolate chip on your lips? This video, though, is going to be detailing my experience and the amazing time I had on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie set. If you guys don't know, this was something me, Baz, Dorko, and also Razbowski got the incredible opportunity to do recently. Scott B and Scott casually just drops me an email like, hey, how you doing? You want to come on the FNAF set? Despite my heart rate going to about 130 BPM, I kept it cool, calm, and collective, and I did actually respond and say yes. We flew out to New Orleans. We got to basically go and experience the Five Nights at Freddy's set and see all of the amazing stuff that's on site, alongside meet some of the incredible cast, the crew, and just the staff members. I'm going to start by saying everyone was just so welcoming. The experience just from the beginning of getting to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie set was, I felt like I'd won one of those fancy trips. You know when it's like, oh, you and your friend have just won tickets to go ahead and go somewhere. It felt like I was at some kind of holiday resort, the way they treated us. It was just such a good time. I'm going to say as well that I vlogged my entire experience whilst I was on set. I think I've got about 45 to 50 minutes worth of footage, which in due time we will be able to upload on our respective channels, and you guys will definitely see. I'm not going to go into a crazy amount of detail. I don't want to kind of, you know, go too deep into this and end up ruining things. Like, that's not the whole point of this. This is just to detail, like, what I got to see whilst I was on set, which I guess does kind of, you know, spoil a little bit, I guess. It was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be able to sit in, though, on the filming process and also get to go on the actual set in between those filming shots, which, by the way, I'm just gonna have to say outright, it was insane what they've been able to do with this. I didn't realize the amount of just like intricate detail which goes into sets. Like, sometimes I just think they look so realistic, they have to have found some kind of old, you know, restaurant or some kind of building, and then they kit everything out from within there. This thing was built from the ground up within a huge warehouse. I'm not sure if I'm correct with this one, but I believe the total set spanned over nearly 10,000 square feet. And it really did show, like, when you walk in that set, it takes you a very long time to get from one point to the next. You want to go from the office to the main pizzeria, expect a 25-second walk. This thing is true to what it would feel like to be in a restaurant. I can feel myself rambling already. Let's get back on track. I'll take my total experience day by day. So the first day we actually got onto the set was on the Monday. And let me just start by saying that when the film crew gets there, they do 12-hour days, 5 days a week. It's a grueling process. What was so amazing, though, was just how enthusiastic and happy everyone seemed to be working on the set. And like, talking with some of the staff, it was amazing because they would be like, oh, you know, I've always been a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, and they're now getting to work on the actual set itself. So it's like the fans now, they're also a part of the crew. So it's crazy to think like the whole world knew about FNAF, and then when the movie was created, some of the people that got hired, they knew about this, and then they got to be a part of the actual movie process, like, you know, helping behind the scenes. What a crazy experience for them it must be. Anyway, though, what we proceeded to do on day number 1, we thought it would be a great idea to get an Uber from the place that we were staying at. Go ahead, go visit the Five Nights at Freddy's movie location. Sounds great on paper, right? So there we are, we're sat inside the car, rubbing our hands together, can't wait to get on the set because it's going to be amazing. Then the Uber driver stops the car. Thank you, sir, appreciate the ride. We get out, and we have no idea where we've just been dropped off. There is no set in sight. At least that's what we first thought. So began the trek. We started walking up and down streets. We were walking down places which I'd never seen before. I didn't know if we were going the right way. No one else did. Time passes. Thankfully, we do manage to find the set, and we meet Bea, who was incredible. Honestly, you made our time so good. She was such a welcoming person, allowed us just so much time, and figured things out behind the scenes where we would ask if we could go ahead and see something. She would check in and make sure we could almost every single time. Some of the opportunities and things she let us film was incredible, and I did not expect it at all. One thing I'm going to say about the movie set is that my expectations were, you know, they were high. I'm going to have to say they were high. I was expecting to see, you know, some things that the fans know. You know, we got like an office space, main pizzeria lounge, things like that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but my expectations were way too low to see the set and to see the atmosphere that they breathe into it, and almost give that feel, man. It feels lived in. It felt ancient. Like, it felt like there had been people visiting this place for years, and maybe they'd forgot to clean a corner, you know, dust had built up in a certain spot. We got grimy handprints, paint chipping. It was all there. And it was so incredible to see. It was so weird, man. Like, I'm thinking about it now, and it's making my head fuzz and my eyes slightly well up because it was an incredibly surreal time. just everything that we got to do whilst we were there. It was incredibly surreal seeing what we did, let alone the fact that when we first walked on set, Josh Hutchinson was just kind of there and was like welcoming us to the pizzeria place. Did not expect that at all. We started out our adventure though in the actual pizzeria, and we all went into the office. That was the first thing we got to see, and it felt exactly like you would expect a security office within a Five Nights at Freddy's world to feel like. Like, we got iconic things, we got the monitors, like we knew that was going to be there. There was also lots of really interesting smaller details that if you look carefully, I think during the movie you guys are going to have a really fun time watching it. It almost feels like this is going to be one of those movies where you're going to have to watch it several times to really pay attention to the small details, because the people who designed this set, they know that's what we're all about. Okay, we're all about those theories and we don't want to miss things, and believe me, you will miss them first time, but if you rewatch a couple of times, you're going to see some small little things that might blow your mind. After seeing the office though, we got to go down pretty much to the main area of the pizzeria, which is of course going to house the guests. It's going to have, you know, the animatronics and everything like that, and again, it was all there, and it was a big room. Like, I'm serious, like if you had families in there, you're probably going to be able to get like 20 families worth, it felt like, in there, bro. Like, that would be bustling. You could almost hear the children running around laughing, dropping plates on the floor, smashing things. There's going to be other iconic things, of course, that you guys, you know, anyone who knows what Five Nights at Freddy's is all about. There is a stage which is going to have animatronics on, you know, there's all kinds of unique things as well. There is, of course, a stage, like there's the main attraction where people sit down, we watch those guys perform. Like, I think we knew that was going to be in the case. That's been in almost every single game. All of the gang were there as well, and we got to see all of the animatronics, which I'm just going to start by saying, like, the talented people over at Jim Henson's Creature Shop have completely excelled when it comes to designing the animatronics. I can't even like begin to explain to you guys how accurate the depiction of them was. It's basically a one-for-one. You know, sometimes when things do translate over to a movie, they have to make these small changes here just so it looks a bit better on screen. Now, I don't know if Scott 8 years ago was thinking back to that, but nothing at all was changed with the design of the animatronics. They look literally perfect. One of the things I actually said, and we kept saying to each other when we'd be, you know, doing our film and reviewing the footage, when we were looking at the camera footage, we kept saying, like, it looks like an Unreal Engine short film. You know, when people do stuff like that, because the animatronics, they just look so realistic in the shot. It was so bizarre to see. So anyone who is a fan of the designs, you are not going to be disappointed at all. They all looked absolutely incredible. We got to get up close, really look at the details of each of the animatronics too, and it feels like this is what they would look like, and also like height-wise, it's everything that you would expect from an animatronic. Yes, they are also kind of terrifying. They were also kind enough to let us see some other really special things that are going to be featured within the movie, which again, I can't go into specifics right now, guys, but they did let us film it, so potentially at one point in the future, maybe you'll get to see some of that stuff. Here's a small little piece of information here as well, which, you know, might shock you guys, but the establishment has a kitchen, but not only that, it has a kitchen we could go inside of, and we did. We went in the kitchen. We probably saw some of the pots and pans that Chica was banging away in the first game. It's everything that you would expect as well from a place like that. You know, it's got memorabilia of the Five Nights at Freddy's establishment scattered all around, and it felt so like, it just felt lived in. You know, it just felt like sometimes maybe the caterers, the people working in the kitchen, they're doing some things within there, and they throw a box here and there. You know, they forget to wash up a pot and pan, something like that. It's all there. Like, it felt like you could count the nights where someone had just went, I don't want to watch this tonight, I'm gonna go home early. The whole set just felt lived in, and I think a lot of people are going to be very pleasantly surprised by the kitchen. We also got to see some of the other areas of the pizzeria. Let's just say maybe where only the staff would be able to go through, walk down some of those back areas of the pizzeria. You know, staff got to get, for example, the animatronics off the stage. Maybe at some point, maybe they need to polish them up behind the scenes before putting them back on. Let me just tell you guys, it's amazing what a lick of paint and some vibrant carpet can do to lift up an establishment and hide how creepy things can get behind closed doors. This movie is gonna have horror elements, of course it is, and when it does, if they're in the back areas, you're gonna scream probably. That's about as much as I want to say about the set. I don't want to go into too many specifics about what everything is, where everything is. I don't feel like I should be revealing that type of information. What I will say though is, after we had our time to explore the set, when everyone of course was you know, off it, we don't want to be filming whilst this actor's performing and stuff, we were then allowed to sit on the side of the set, wear a pair of headphones, and we could listen in to the entirety of the process of the filming and see some of the live takes done. And first of all, I want to say I am amazed how talented the actors they have for this film really are. I always figured, like, the amount of lines some of these scenes have, they're gonna take multiple takes, they're gonna accidentally forget the lines here and there. I don't think I saw a single mistake in the entire filming process. The cast, the crew, they were so professional. Everyone felt like they were just working in tangent. It was like cogs inside of a watch. Everyone knew what their role was, and they filled it so perfectly. I have a vivid memory as well well, when we first put the headset on and we watched the first scene, I just remember seeing out the corner of my eye, it was all of us pretty much. We were sat there with our headphones on, enjoying it, and we were just kind of shaking our heads in disbelief like, dang, we're seeing this, and potentially we're seeing a shot that is going to be used in the movie. Like, and the fact that the movie's coming out, and it's a real thing. Like, it's not just a fabrication now. There's no more stories about, you know, oh, did you hear about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming into play? Probably. It is, and from the shots and everything that I could see, everyone I think is going to be in for an incredible treat. And let's just say they've kept it faithful for the FNAF fans, and they've also done it in such a way where I think people who don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is can watch this movie and really get into this whole franchise and enjoy everything about it. I'm gonna keep my video just there, though, guys. I could honestly talk so much. I've actually got like a script that I wrote out in front of me, just basing bullet points on things I wanted to talk about. Listen. That is me scrolling down how much I wrote, and now I've realized I can't say most of it. I don't want to go ahead and spoil too much. So I will keep this as my first impressions. Instead of rambling for hours, I will cut myself off there before I get even more distracted. I want to close off this video by giving a thank you to some of the staff and people on set who were just so kind and welcoming. Thank you, Bea. You were so wonderful and accommodating to all of us whilst on set. Any question or thing we might ask, you know, hey, can we see this? She would get right on it and she would figure something out. It was so surreal. We felt like we were being treated like royalty whilst we were on that set, and I can't imagine a more welcoming experience, and also a better person to how welcome us on the set. So Bea, thank you. Also a thank you to Emma Tammy, who I briefly got to see, and you know, we did kind of have like a small passing comment like, oh, the movie's going good, stuff like that, but that was about it. Unfortunately, I left a little earlier than everyone else, so everyone had the time to meet Tammy. Very fortunate, but she's doing a fantastic job directing this movie. Also a big thank you to Garrett, who always checked up on us whilst we were on set, making sure everyone was able to get what they wanted with the shots and just talk about things with the movie. Jeremy too, who was just a super chill guy. Thank you for taking us to the lunch hall most specifically. Bro, they eat good on these sets. Also to the assistants, Brittany and also Sydney, two wonderful people. Just, I can't express enough. Everyone was just so wonderful. They were such a nice group of people on this set. I'm sure I'm forgetting names, and I feel awful because everyone just made me feel so welcome whilst I was there, and everyone else. I honestly just can't say enough good things about my entire time there. Like, I knew it was going to be a good time, but I can't believe how much of a great time all of their help helped make it. It was honestly, I think, the best kind of experience we could have had on set. I'm so thankful for everyone for letting us have this opportunity, and just for everyone being so kind. And also a huge, incredible thank you to Scott Cawthon for helping make all of this possible in the first place. I can't express to you guys the generosity of this man. I couldn't think of a better person to have the type of success that he has. He's such a kind person through and through. He just, like, he gives us so many opportunities, and it never ever goes unappreciated. So Scott, thank you so much. This was honestly one of the best things that has probably happened to me in my life. Like, I've never been on a movie set, and I've always loved the process of making movies. Getting to see that with my favorite franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's, as well, it's such a great combination. So Scott, I will forever be grateful to just everything that you've given us, and also, like, I've built my channel off of FNAF, and this is where I'm at now. I wouldn't be anywhere without this man. So again, Scott, thank you. You are amazing. There's a lot of love and passion put into this movie. It's going to be so clear once you guys see the trailers and the movie actually drop in the near future. And I'm so excited and cannot wait to see how things progress. And I can't wait to watch the movie myself. I'm so excited for it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this one. As said before, I can't say too much. I wanted to keep it vague, but I know some people will be interested on my experience on the movie set. Very different, pretty much a static camera. I can't really do any crazy zooms. I can't overlay footage just yet, which I'm going to say again, I have a lot of footage to choose from. Thank you though so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you got at least a little something out of this, and also could see the type of experience that I was offered on the set. I'm looking forward in the future to sharing even more with you, and that will definitely come in due time. But for this one, I guess that's going to be everything, guys, and I really hope you did enjoy this small discussion about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie set and my experience. If you did, why not drop me that like rate, and hey, if you're new around here, why not subscribe for more videos? I mean, I'm pointing at myself, like, what else can I do here? But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Of course, I hope you did enjoy, and I'll of course see you on the next one.